The term lust refers to an unbridled desire or insatiable urge for something. It can be for power, it can be for money, it can be for food, but most commonly, it is for this spicy action. And the problem is when you lust for something or have a strong desire, it basically weakens you as a man. You are a slave to the stimulus. Today, guys, I'm gonna help you break your brain of lust. The inspiration for today's video is a friend of mine who's going through a very, very uncomfortable and messy divorce as we speak. And the reason is pretty simple. He did not have the ability to control his urges and his lustful nature, right? Now, as guys, it's normal, right? It's normal to look, it's normal to notice, that's fine. But lusting is basically not having the ability to push it down, compartmentalize it, and look away and move on. He, unfortunately, did not have that ability. And what happened, he ended up messing around on his wife a few times. She caught him, and now he is basically living literally in his car. He's about to lose his job. His kids won't talk to him. His life is ruined. Step number one is distinguishing the difference between lust and looking. Looking is totally normal, gentlemen. We're humans. We are very visual creatures, right? We've got eyes. We notice beautiful things. Deers, rainbows, spicy senoritas. But when you take it to the next level and you start staring or obsessing or stalking socially, this is not normal. When you see somebody or you notice something or you see it on social media, right, and it's attractive, 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, move on. All right, don't try to avoid it altogether because you're honestly going to be drawn to it even more. Give yourself the permission to accept that it is beautiful or that it is something attractive. Look at it, 3 seconds, move on. The next trick, when you're having a conversation with a beautiful woman, here's what I want you to do. Focus on her eyes, all right? Lock in. Look into her soul. I'm talking deep, deep, deep into her soul. But what you don't do is break gaze by looking down at her boobs, right? Look to the right, look to the left, but not down. What a lot of guys do, right? They'll be talking and then boom, their eyes automatically gravitate down to the boobies. They're like magnets drawing us down, right? No, gentlemen, you gotta be stronger. You've gotta be self-aware enough to know that that is what your tendency is. You gotta focus on the eyes. When you break gaze, go left, go right, but not down, which brings me to the next tip. You've got to start being aware. Awareness is one of the most critical aspects of breaking your brain of lust, right? Because you've got to identify when it's happening. You've got to know when you're feeling those emotions. And when it does, when it comes on, you've got to redirect and rechannel this emotion to something else. When you start to feel the urge or that lust coming over you guys, it's about acknowledging it, realize that it's happening, and then break it. How do you break it? You redirect and refocus that energy to something else, something unrelated. Whether or not it's a hobby, whether or not it's a walk, whether or not it's singing, whether or not it's going to get a cup of coffee, doing some push-ups. It's about identification and breaking the chain. Trigger identification is the next step in terms of breaking your brain from lust, all right? What are they? Where do you go? What do you do? What are those things in your day that makes you feel that way or makes you want to go to like the websites or spank your monkey or whatever, right? Now, I'm not saying that breaking your brain of lust, the goal should be to not do that thing, right? I'm not saying that at all. You know, it's about not looking at or allowing that urge to overcome you and not to be controlled by it, right? All right, and so it's critical that you identify those triggers, right? Instagram, huge trigger. TikTok, huge trigger. The problem with technology is that if you've looked at it like once, it's gonna start feeding you, right? The algorithm is super smart. It wants you to look. It knows that if it shows you boobies, you're gonna stop, pause, look again, it's gonna show you another. That's the problem, which means a lot of you have to break the chain by removing the social media app from your phone. Let me ask you a question. What are you going to miss? Not a damn thing. You're also going to be giving your body a little bit of a dopamine detox and a rest. Guys, I want to challenge you. If you're serious about breaking your brain of lust and sexualization, take the social media apps off of your phone. If they're on your computer, that's one thing. But having easy access, always having the ability to flip it open it up, and take a look, gentlemen, this is why so many of you are basically in a very dangerous place in terms of dopamine, but also lust and sexualization. It's about removing as much sexually stimulating stuff from your life as possible. Because the truth is that until you do, you're never going to truly be able to reset your brain and get out of that rut. All right, the next thing I just want to mention, it's critical for you to truly break your brain of lust. You've got to be more sexually disciplined. You also need to be a man of high standards and integrity. The goal should not be to you just have to really have like crazy willpower in order to not look, gentlemen. It's not about that. It's about not putting yourself in the position or situation. It's about having accountability. If you don't want to do something, you've got to set yourself up for success. You've got to remove the stimulations. You've got to avoid the triggers. The other thing I'd like to share with you, and the last place I'd like to actually leave this, is invest. Invest all the energy, all the thoughts, all the lust into that person that you're currently with. If you have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a wife, whatever. If you don't, then that's a different story. But if you do, instead of focusing on the external people or things, I want you to focus that energy on the person that you're actually with. Invest in more special date nights. Invest in letting them know they're beautiful. Invest in a more sexually pleasurable experience for both of you. And what's going to happen is going to be amazing. You're going to have a better relationship. You're also going to rekindle that spark. Channeling and focusing that lust and that desire to the person that you're actually with, this is amazing. Not only is it going to help facilitate a more healthy, happy sex life, it's also going to build your relationship and make it stronger. And you are going to feel better about yourself. You're also not going to make the stupid ass decisions that so many men make, all for a 3-second muscle contraction.